Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. I'm going to pronounce. Hare Krishna.
So good to see everyone back at the SB Sangha. I hope you're all doing well and had a good time. So there are two more chapters left in the sixth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 18 and 18 and 19. So today we will try and complete 18th chapter, and then next week we can conclude the sixth canto. Okay, so let's do the short prayers and we'll get into it. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin iti namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadhi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrindam. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So Hare Krishna. So this chapter is entitled Diti Vows to Kill Indra. If you look at the sixth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, initially Shukadeva Goswami was describing the progeny of daughters of Daksha. Chapter 6 is entitled is the progeny of daughters of Daksha. So when he was describing the progeny of daughters of Daksha, then some or other, we entered into Indra's story. So, and Indra committed an offense against his guru Vashishta by not recognizing him, by not receiving him, and from there, then chapter 7 till chapter 17, it's all about Indras. That one mistake led to another mistake. One mistake. So, he was requested by Brahmaji to accept Vishwarupa as his spiritual master because Vashishta was no longer acting as his spiritual master. And Vishwarupa, he was also inclined to demons. So while offering oblations, he was also favoring demons. Knowing this, Indra cut off his heads. So he did another mistake. He committed another offense. Basically, just killing his own spiritual master. And then from there, Vishwarupa's father, Tvashta, he performed a sacrifice. In that sacrifice, great demon Vrutrasura appeared, and there was a great battle between Vrutrasura and King Indra. Wonderful prayers offered by Vrutrasura. Very, very beautiful prayers offered by Vrutrasura. And then we also, read the history behind, Chitraketu becoming Vrutrasura also, story of Chitraketu. So now, after, dealing with that Indra's story, now Shukadeva Goswami comes back to the progeny of, Daksha's children, daughters of Daksha. So that's what's been described. There are 78 verses, I think, in this chapter. Let me see. Yeah, 78 verses. We will not be reading all the verses. We will read selective verses and take some very important lessons. While I was reading it, I made note of some very important lessons that we can learn from this story of Diti vows to kill Indra. Basically, first 19 verses talks about the descendants of Aditi and Diti. Aditi and Diti, they are the daughters of Daksha. They were given to Kashyapa, along with other daughters of Daksha. So there is many names there. So with Aditi, Kashyapa begot 12 sons. They are called Adityas. Krishna says in the Gita, Adityana Maham Vishnor. Among Adityas, I am Vishnu, he says. So 12 Adityas, their names were mentioned as Vivaswan, sun god, Aryama, Pusha, Tvashta, Savita, Bhaga, Dhata, Vidhata, Varuna, Mitra, Shatru, and Urukrama. Urukrama means our Vamandev. Vamandev is also one of the Adityas. And in turn, their descendants were also given. So there will be too many names here. But one thing I can mention that Valmiki, great sage Valmiki, who appeared from the anthill. We know that story, Valmiki. Here in this chapter, we come to know that what is the son of Varuna actually. Initial name was different because he came out of Valmikaha. Valmikaha means anthill in Sanskrit. He was given the name Valmiki, but his name initially, I think, Ratnakar or something else. But from this chapter, we understand that is the son of Varuna, is mentioned here. I can double check with that. 1 second. Valmiki. Yeah, the sage Valmiki appeared from Varuna. Yeah, that's one interesting point. We never heard of Vamandev's sons, right? In the story of in the 8th canto, we read the story. Actually, this coming Sunday is the appearance of Lord Vamandev. So in the temple, we will discuss the story of Vamandev and also the appearance of Jiva Goswami. So here in this chapter, and the wife name of wife and the name of wife of Lord Vamandev is also mentioned here. Her name is Bhratash Shloka, and then some of the sons were also mentioned. And Kashyapa and Diti, their children were also given here. And the two well-known sons, some of the well-known sons of Diti, or we know that two sons of Diti were Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. And in that lineage, Prahalad Maharaj came, and Prahalad, who else? Virochan, Bhanasur, their names were also mentioned. We know that Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha were killed by the Lord. But however, to protect Indra, Lord had to kill them. Bali Maharaj's name is also mentioned. So then here, so in text 19, am I sharing? No, I'll share the screen. So initially, just to sum up, the descendants of Aditi through Kashyapa were given. And later in this chapter, the descendants of Diti through Kashyapa were also mentioned. While mentioning the descendants of Diti through Kashyapa, Shukadeva Goswami says this: the 49 Marut demigods were also born from the womb of Diti. None of them had sons. Although they were born of Diti, King Indra gave them a position as demigods. So it's interesting. Sons of Diti are known as Daityas, demonic beings. So here, Shukadeva Goswami, while describing the descendants of Diti through Kashyapa, says that there were 49 Maruts. They were actually born from the womb of Diti. However, they were not demonic. They were accepted as demigods by Indra. This is the point Shukadeva Goswami mentions. Then, Parikshit Maharaj interestingly asked some questions. So can I have a volunteers to read from text 20 till 31, please? I'm sharing the screen. Yeah. Who would like to
read, Prabhuji?
Please.
From 19 to?
I beg your pardon, text 20 till 31.
Text 20. Text 20. King Parikshit inquired, my dear Lord, due to their birth, the 49 Maruts must have been obsessed with the demoniac mentality. Why did Indra, the king of heaven, convert them into demigods? Did they perform any rituals or pious activities? Text 21. My dear Brahmana, I and all the sages present with me are eager to know about this. Therefore, O great soul, kindly explain to us the reason. Text 22. Sri Sutta Goswami said, O great sage Sonaka, after hearing Maharaj Parikshit speak respectfully and briefly on topics essential to hear, Sukdev Goswami, who was well aware of everything, praised his endeavor with great pleasure and replied. Text 24. Sri Sukdev Goswami said, Just to help Indra, Lord Vishnu killed the two brothers Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakasipu. Because of their being killed, their mother Diti, overwhelmed with lamentation and anger, contemplated as follows. Text 24. Lord Indra, who is very much fond of sense gratification, has killed the two brothers Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakasipu by means of Lord Vishnu. Therefore, Indra is cruel, hard-hearted, and sinful. When will I, having killed him, rest with a pacified mind? Text 25. When dead, the bodies of all the rulers, known as kings and great leaders, will be transformed into worms, stool, or ashes. If one enviously kills others for the protection of such a body, does he actually know the true interest of life? Certainly he does not. For if one is envious of other entities, he surely goes to hell. Text 26. Diti thought, Indra considers his body eternal, and thus he has become unrestrained. I therefore wish to have a son who can remove Indra's madness. Let me adopt some means to help me in this. Text 27 to 28. Thinking in this way, with a desire for a son to kill Indra, Diti began constantly acting to satisfy Kashyapa by her pleasing behavior. O king, Diti always carried out Kashyapa's orders very faithfully as he desired, with service, love, humility, and control, with words spoken very sweetly to satisfy her
Husband.
husband, and with smiles and glances at him, Diti attracted his mind and brought it under control. Text 29. Although Kashyapa Muni was a learned scholar, he was captivated by Diti's artificial behavior, which brought him under her control. Therefore, he assured his wife that he would fulfill her desires. Such a promise by a husband is not at all astonishing. Text 30. In the beginning of creation, Lord Brahma, the father of the living entities of the universe, saw that all the living entities were unattached. To increase population, he then created woman from the better half of man's body. For woman's behavior carries away a man's mind. Thank you.
Yeah, so we'll stop there, no problem. So Parikshit Maharaj wanted to know the reason, how come the 49 sons of Titi became demigods. Usually the sons born of Diti are demonic in nature. So Parikshit Maharaj wanted to know. Shukdev Goswami started explaining that Diti wanted to have a son who would be able to kill Indra. So Indra is his stepson. We all know that, isn't it? Aditi's son is Indra, and Diti's sons, such as Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu, were killed, um, um, by Vishnu, but to favor Indra. So Diti had this feeling in her heart that somehow or other I should, take avenge. Uh, um, and therefore, she had a plan. She, she came up with a plan. Let me serve my husband very nicely. She didn't tell that why she was serving like that, but she had the desire. I serve nicely. When he becomes pleased, he would ask me for he would give me a boon. Then I would ask this boon that let me have a son who would be able to kill Indra. Any lessons we can learn from this? Can we learn any lessons? Sometimes
praying for something with a motive, a material motive.
Material motive. Sometimes, some people appear to be very sweet with us, right? They're very, very sweet with us. And they like to serve, they praise, they find our weakness, they may give us nice food, they may invite us, not everyone, but sometimes it is seen. We have to be careful. Then they have an ulterior motive. It's not love. Love is that real service, or love means doing that thing without any ulterior motive, not expectation of some outcome, some selfish reason to be fulfilled. So here, initially, Kashyapa thought, wow, my wife is serving so nicely. He thought it's a selfless service. But, he was influenced by that nature. Anybody will, yes, sometimes we will also, fall into that trap. So basically, Kashyapa fell into that trap of Diti. So then what did Kashyapa do? He was very happy with her service. Then, without Diti asking, he approached Diti and said that I am extremely pleased with your service. Almost beautiful woman. So I'm very much pleased with your behavior. Now you may ask me for any benediction you want. Do we see any of this kind of any situation where this kind of offering benediction led to problems?
In Ramayana, Dasrath offered the two ones.
Exactly. I was thinking about that. Ramayana, Dasharath said, you can eat, I'm giving you 2 boons. You can ask those 2 boons whenever you want. And he did not say these are the conditions or anything like that. No conditions were put. He said that you can ask 2 boons, whatever you want, whenever you want. And, we know that created a lot of problem. Any other place? I was thinking, yeah. But anyway, so we have to be careful, rather than we should say, I would give this, rather than you may ask for anything else, anything, isn't it? Here Kashyapa said, you may ask me for any benediction you want. So Diti replied. What did Diti say? Oh, my dear husband, I have now lost my sons. If you want to give me a benediction, I ask you for an immortal son who can kill Indra. I pray for this because Indra, with the help of Vishnu, has killed my 2 sons, Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. So this was the request from Diti. She wanted to have a son. who can kill Indra. So upon hearing Diti's request, Kashyap Muni was very much aggrieved. Now I face the danger of impious act of killing Indra. So he lamented, oh, why did I do that? Then, okay, she tricked me, I will also trick her. What is the trick? Does anybody know?
I don't know the total details, but she is asked to do rituals for over a year, and basically if she makes one mistake, then the child will not be born a demon. It will twist it, something.
Yeah, you are right. So he said that, okay, she tricked me, let me trick her as well. So he gives some rituals. It is called Pumsavana vow, Pumsavana vow. I mean, a vow to obtain a son. So in which there were several do's and don'ts. We will read some of them. And basically, and says that you should worship Lord Vishnu 1 year. So he realized, he thought, okay, if this lady, my wife, worships Lord Vishnu for 1 year, our demonic thinking, thinking to kill, having us, thinking, our thinking will change. Our heart will be transformed. She'll become a devotee of the Lord. And I'm sure Lord will take care of the rest. So that was his mood. So he decided to engage her in the worship of the Lord. This is a very, very important lesson. So first lesson is that we have to be careful when someone is too nice to her, too nice to us. We have to always find, make sure they don't have any other, whether they have any ulterior intentions or not. So that's one lesson. And second lesson is that this is engaging in devotional service onto the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu will transform the heart of any person. So that is the second point. Let's read some of the do's and don'ts. Okay. Yeah, but he puts one condition and he says that, yeah, I promise to give a benediction. But he says that if you violate any of the rules, if you follow the rules for 1 year, you will have a son who would be able to kill Indra. However, if you break any of these rules, and if you violate any of the rules that are given, the son will become a friend of Indra. So, having said that, he had mentioned, so many things, sattvic nature. Say, for example, do not curse anyone, do not harm anyone, do not speak lies. Do not associate with wicked people. Always be clean. Do not eat prasad offered to goddess Kali. Do not eat food contaminated by flesh and fish. Do not eat food cooked by non-devotees. And after eating, you should not go out without washing your mouth, hand, and feet. Mm. Yeah, basically, mode of goodness, the rules would increase the goodness, mode of goodness, quality of mode of goodness. And that is very much, uh, you know, um, beneficial to the devotion. So here he says, if you perform this ceremony called Pumsavana, adhering to the vow with faith for at least 1 year, you will give birth to a son destined to kill Indra. But if there is any discrepancy in the discharge of this vow, the son will be a friend of Indra. Okay. So we will read now from text 55 to 64. I've explained until 54. So any other volunteer, please?
May I explain, Prabhu, I've got to put my washing machine on and it's so bad I can't even hear you. It's that loud, so I won't be able to read, but I'll contribute when I can. Thank you.
Yeah. Don't worry. I'm just trying to engage. Whoever can. Don't worry. There is no pressure. Anybody? Yes, Arya, please. Text 55 till 64. Arya, we can't hear you.
Sorry. O King Parikshit, Diti, the wife of Kashyapa, agreed to undergo the purificatory process known as Pumsavana. Yes, she said, I shall do everything according to your instructions. With great jubilation, she became pregnant, having taken semen from Kashyapa, and faithfully began discharging the vow. O King, who are respectful to everyone, Indra understood Diti's purpose, and thus he contrived to fulfill his own interests. Following the logic that self-preservation is the first law of nature, he wanted to break Diti's promise. Thus he engaged himself in the service of Diti, his aunt, who was residing in an ashrama. Indra served his aunt daily by bringing flowers, fruits, and wood for yajnas from the forest. He also brought kusha grass, leaves, sprouts, earth, and water exactly at the proper time. O King Parikshit, as the hunter of a deer becomes like a deer by covering his body with deerskin and serving the deer, so Indra, although at heart the enemy of the sons of Diti, became outwardly friendly and served Diti in a faithful way. Indra's purpose was to cheat Diti as soon as he could find some fault in the way she discharged the vows of the ritualistic ceremony. However, he wanted to be undetected, and therefore he served her very carefully. O master of the entire world, when Indra could find no faults, he thought, how will there be good fortune for me? Thus he was full of deep anxiety.
Just 1 second. So Diti, tricked Kashyapa by serving. Here, Indra is also trying to trick her, isn't it? He is also serving nicely. And he is basically trying to serve her nicely. And as soon as he finds a mistake, he would do something else. Yeah. So he had ulterior intention. Please go on.
Having grown weak and thin because of strictly following the principles of the vow, Diti once unfortunately neglected to wash her mouth, hands and feet after eating and went to sleep during the evening twilight. Finding this fault, Indra, who has all the mystic powers, the yoga siddhis such as Anima and Lagima, entered Diti's womb while she was unconscious, being fast asleep. After entering Diti's womb, Indra, with the help of his thunderbolt, cut into 7 pieces her embryo, which appeared like glowing gold. In 7 places, 7 different living beings began crying. Indra told them, "Do not cry," and then he cut each of them into 7 pieces again. O King, being very much aggrieved, they pleaded to Indra with folded hands, saying, "Dear Indra, we are the Maruts, your brothers. Why are you trying to kill us?" When Indra saw that actually they were his devoted followers, he said to them, "If you are all my brothers, you have nothing more to fear from me."
Yeah. Thank you very much. So here, Indra went to the ashram, hermitage of his stepmother Diti, and tried to serve her very nicely with ulterior motive. So, whenever he can find a mistake, whenever he finds a mistake, then he can, try and enter into the womb and cut the womb, the fetus. Mm. So when she did very nicely, but only once, she forgot to wash her mouth, hands, feet after eating, and then she also slept during the evening twilight. This is not an auspicious time to sleep. Uh, this is called Sandhya time. So usually it is not recommended to sleep during that time. So finding this fault, Indra entered into the womb, with anima siddhi. I mean, you can become smaller than the smallest, like that, with his thunderbolt. So he was trying to cut the embryo. So initially, he cut the embryo into 7 pieces, but the embryo didn't die. Usually you cut the embryo into 7 pieces. That's it, isn't it? But one son became 7 sons now, and they were glowing like gold. And then Indra said, "Oh my goodness, one became 7. Let me cut each child into another 7 pieces." So he did that. 7 times 7, 49. And they did not die. They were alive. And they said, "Oh Indra, do not kill us. We follow you. We accept your orders." And then Indra came out. And we will next read a few more verses. Is anybody would like to read 65, 67? We may read the translation as well. Yeah. So here I'll read it. Shukadeva Goswami said, "My dear King Parikshit, you were born by Brahmastra of Ashwatthama when he was in the womb of his mother Uttara. Ashwatthama, through Brahmastra, just targeted the embryo. So that way, the weapon would not harm the mother, but would only kill the embryo within the womb. It is said that here it is clearly mentioned, burnt, the embryo was burned. Parikshit Maharaj actually was burned, but however, he was saved by Supreme Personality. And what did Uttara do? Uttara took shelter of Lord Krishna. And Lord Krishna entered her womb and then revived the embryo. And Parikshit Maharaj had the vision of Lord Vishnu within the womb itself. His name is Vishnu Ratha, very much attracted to Lord Vishnu. And here Shukadeva Goswami is comparing, yes, just like you were saved in your mother's womb, even after you were burnt by the weapon of Ashwatthama. Similarly, although one embryo was cut into 49 pieces by the thunderbolt of Indra, they were all saved by the mercy of Supreme Personality of Godhead. If one worships the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the original person, even once, he receives the benefit of being promoted to the spiritual world and possessing the same bodily features as Vishnu. Diti worshipped Lord Vishnu for almost 1 year, adhering to great to a great vow. Because of such strength in spiritual life, the 49 Maruts were born. How then it is wonderful that the Maruts, although were born from the womb of Diti, became equal to the demigods by the mercy of the Supreme Lord. So here Shukadeva Goswami says, how did this happen? How no one was killed, how the embryo was not killed? Because of the mercy of Lord Vishnu. Because she worshipped Lord Vishnu for 1 year. So Lord Vishnu was pleased with her. She wanted one son, but now she got 49 sons. Because of worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Diti was completely purified. This was the lesson, one of the lessons we were talking about it. When she got up from the bed, she saw her 49 sons along with Indra. These 49 sons were all as brilliant as fire and were in the friendship with Indra, and therefore she was very pleased. Any point? Can you note any? There is an interesting point here. How come she is pleased?
She become in the mode of goodness, Prabhuji. So, she forgotten her enmity.
Exactly. You got the right point. Yes, absolutely right. Initially she had that enmity, but having worshipped for 1 year, then now she was pleased. She didn't say, "Oh, I didn't have a son who can kill Indra." She was not thinking like that anymore. She was very pleased because of this. This is the transformation that took place. Therefore, Diti said to Indra, "My dear son, I adhered to this difficult vow just to get a son to kill you 12 Adityas. You and your brother, basically all the Adityas. I prayed for only one son, but now I see that there are 49. How has this happened, my dear son? Indra, if you know, please tell me the truth. Do not speak lies," because she knows Indra can trick her and he can lie. And this is also interesting, this section. Indra replied, "My dear mother, because I was grossly blinded by selfish interest, I lost sight of religion. When I understood that you were observing a great vow in spiritual life, I wanted to find some fault in you. When I found such a fault, I entered your womb and cut your embryo into pieces." First, I cut the child in the womb into 7 pieces, which became 7 children. Then I cut each of the children into 7 pieces again. By the grace of the Supreme Lord, however, none of them died. My dear mother, when I saw that all 49 sons were alive, I was certainly struck with wonder. I decided that this was a secondary result of your having regularly executed devotional service in worship of Lord Vishnu. Prabhupada writes here, for one who engages in worshipping Lord Vishnu, nothing is very wonderful. This is a fact. In Bhagavad Gita 18:17, it is said, Yatra Yogeshwaraha Krishno, Yatra Partho Dhanurdharaha, Tatra Shrir Vijayo Bhutir Dhruvanitir Matir Mama. Wherever there is Krishna, the master of all mystics, and wherever there is Arjuna, the supreme author, there will also certainly be opulence, victory, extraordinary power, and morality. That is my opinion. Yogeshwara is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the master of all mystic yoga, who can do anything and everything he likes. This is the omnipotence of the Supreme Lord. For one who pleases the Supreme Lord, no achievement is wonderful. Everything is possible for him. Although those who are interested only in worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead do not desire anything material from the Lord and do not even want liberation, Lord Krishna fulfills all their desires. Prabhupada gives the story of Dhruva Maharaj. It is said here, Dhruva Maharaj went to the forest with the intention to have a kingdom which is greater than that of his great grandfather, Brahma. So basically, he wanted a kingdom which is greater than Brahma's kingdom. Brahma's kingdom is the entire universe. Of course, at the end, he got Dhruvaloka. Dhruvaloka, although is part of this universe, a planet within this universe, but that Dhruva planet is actually Vishnu Loka. That is the planet of Lord Vishnu. That comes from the spiritual world. So Lord Vishnu gave his own planet. So you fulfilled that desire. Dhruva Maharaj lamented having this material desire, but Lord Krishna fulfilled that desire as well. The ultimate goal of all ambitions is to become a servant of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If an intelligent man serves the most dear Lord, who gives himself to his devotees, how can he desire material happiness, which is available even in hell? So, the devotee, ultimately, the pure devotee, goal is to become a servant of the Lord. The material, here it is mentioned, the material happiness is available everywhere. So, but devotee, the pure devotee wants to become a servant of the Supreme Lord. Here Prabhupada quotes this important verse from Shishtastakam. Nadhanam najanam nasundarim kavitam va jagatisha kamaye mama janmani janmanishware bhavatad bhakti ravaitu kitvaye. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Lord himself, but he's acting as a devotee and teaching us a lesson. He says, "O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service birth after birth. A pure devotee never begs the Lord for material happiness in the shape of riches, followers, a good wife, or even mukti, liberation. The Lord promises, however, Yoga Kshemam Vahamyaham. I voluntarily bring everything necessary for my service." So, if we engage in the service of the Lord, Lord will take care. "O my mother," Indra continued, "O best of all women, I'm a fool. Kindly excuse me for whatever offenses I've committed. Your 49 sons have been born unhurt because of your devotional service. As an enemy, I cut them into pieces. But because of your great devotional service, they did not die." Shukadeva Goswami continued, Diti was extremely satisfied by Indra's good behavior. Then Indra offered his respects to his aunt with profuse obeisances, and with her permission, he went away to heavenly planets with his brothers, the Maruts. "My dear King Parikshit, I've replied as far as possible to the questions you have asked me, especially in regard to this pure, auspicious narration about Maruts. Now you may inquire further, and I shall explain more. So with this, the chapter ends. So in this chapter, Shukadeva Goswami describes the descendants of Aditi and Diti, who are the daughters of Daksha. So while describing the descendants of Diti, Shukadeva Goswami mentioned that the 49 sons of Diti became demigods and known as Maruts. Then Parikshit Maharaj asked, usually the sons of the descendants of Diti are demonic in nature. How come these 49 sons of Diti became demigods or elevated to the position of demigods? So Parikshit Maharaj asked that question, and Shukadeva Goswami narrates the entire story of how these 49 children became demigods. So Diti, while explaining, he mentioned Diti, the wife of Kashyapa, one of the wives of Kashyapa. She had this feeling that, she wanted to have a son who can kill Indra. So with that intention, she served her husband Kashyapa very nicely for a long time. And husband Kashyapa, pleased, said, "Oh, my dear wife, ask for any benediction that you like." And immediately she asked that she wanted to have a son who can kill Indra. Kashyapa was very much aggrieved, and decided, okay, she tricked me, and then I will also trick her. Thinking like this, he asked his wife Titi to follow a vow called Pumsavana Vrata for 1 year worshipping Lord Vishnu with some do's and don'ts, and mentioned that if she follows those rules for 1 year and worship Lord Vishnu, she will have a son who will be able to kill Indra. However, if she violates any of the rules, that then her son will be a friend of Indra rather than enemy of Indra. So after this, she was following that vow known as Pumsavana, and Indra, knowing this, he wanted, of course, self-preservation is the, if someone is trying to kill you, then you try and protect yourself. So Indra approached her and started serving nicely, and ultimately, his aim is to find a fault and then kill the embryo. And so once upon a time, Diti did not or forgot to wash her mouth, hands, feet after eating, and also slept during the twilight time. Not sure how many of us actually wash our mouth, hands, and feet after eating. So she did that, and Indra took this opportunity, entered, became smaller, entered her womb with thunderbolt. He cut embryo into 7 pieces, but they became 7 children glowing, and he tried to kill each child. Again, he tried to cut each child into 7 pieces. So they became altogether 49. and none of them were killed. Everyone was alive. Indra actually got stuck with wonder, and Indra admits that this is because of our devotional service. And Shukadeva Goswami compares this wonderful act, that embryo did not die, although was cut into 49 pieces. He compares that act to how Parikshit Maharaj was saved, or actually Parikshit Maharaj was burnt by the weapon of Brahmastra thrown by Ashwatthama, and however he was revived within the womb by Lord Vishnu. Similarly, by the mercy of Lord Vishnu, so the embryo didn't die. This is the glory of worshipping Lord Vishnu. And also another fact is that she was very happy. She became pleased that there were 49 sons. They were friends of Indra, all because of the transformation by the devotional service of the Lord. So with that, we'll end this chapter. There is one more chapter next week, and with that we will conclude 6th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Grandharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Nitai Gaura Premanandi. Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.